you doing, brother?
I'm good. Wait, are you okay driving and interviewing?
I'm solid. I drove party buses for 10 years with 26 passengers. I got a CDL. I'm all good.
Everybody, welcome back to Power 97.5 LA, Power V 97.5 Vegas, iGlobal Media, iHeartRadio, and the JS Journals. I'm so excited about this moment right now because when you think of somebody that is just built different, that has growth, authenticity, but somebody that really just has the high vibration of living, I think of Red Lotus. Today I was going to put on white, but talk about alignment. We both got on white today. That's what I'm talking about. And he's driving right now, so he already had a license driving the 26 passengers of folks, so he's safe out here in the streets. Everybody put your hands together for Red Lotus is in the building.
Built different.
What is going on, sir? How are you? Happy, what are we in? January. Happy 2026.
Wow. How
Yeah,
many days in are we?
we are, what is today? We are
23, 24,
26 days.
26.
But, I think about it, I was like, are we not already in May? Because
That part.
it's
Because you know
feeling
why?
heavy.
Because the chosen are in the future. You know,
Exactly.
we live in the future. We live in the present, but we are the future, right?
Yeah.
So we always feel like we are ahead because we think ahead. We plan ahead in
Mm-hmm.
the moment though.
In the moment. In the moment.
Hmm.
I want to start this off with, and I've been doing this a lot lately. I remember somebody was asking me something on a red carpet about the distinctions between myself and other journalists and things like that. I want to ask you, how is your heart?
My heart feels well. I do the same thing. I ask people, how's your mental, how's your spirit, and how is your physical? My heart feels very well, very full. I love my team. Shout out to Cheese World. Shout out to Milano St. Patrick. Shout out to AB, who does our logistics. Shout out to Nicole, who does our scheduling. Yeah, I feel well. I've got a good team, so I'm at peace. All I got to
You
do is
do.
create.
Listen, you created some beautiful things. I want to go back though. Like when people hear the name Red Lotus, there's really power in it. And you've talked about this, and I remember even going back and looking at some things that I'm gonna surprise you with throughout this interview. I was like, we did some homework on this man. This is
Yes,
man, he's
I
been in
love
this,
it.
I love homework. I love homework. Can you walk us through the full meaning of the name? Because you are a third from what a lot of folks don't know. But what does Red Lotus mean though?
So I'm actually the fourth.
The fourth. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
And no, that's good because you did your homework, and I appreciate that because most people don't even mention this.
Uh,
So I really appreciate this. So yeah, my name is Red because my father was called Red. He was the third. His father was called Red. His father was called Red uh, because we're Creole. You know, that's what we do. We call you these names that we can memorize. You know what I mean? We're red bones. You're red bone as well.
yeah.
The red undertone. You know, you've got yellow tones. That's why I consider myself a dark skin. So I'm a red bone. You know what I mean? But
Shout out to my melanin folks in the building.
so, right. Shout out to the melanin.
Oh
We
my
glow
God.
out here. But
Yeah.
yeah. So that's what the red comes from. And Lotus is a long story, and I don't know if we're ready for all that.
I'll say this. You know what I am ready for when I think about the lotus, and I immediately thought about you. I thought about growing through dark and murky waters, right? And just kind
Yep.
of going through the life of lifing. What were some of those murky waters, that you had to personally survive to become who you are today?
Yeah, I mean, no mud, no lotus. That's my mantra. It's in the Blue Album intro. No mud, no lotus, right? That drops
It,
February 6th.
it.
However, yeah, I mean, my mother was 13, going on 14,
Mhm.
when she had me.
You guys are like
Um,
14 years apart or something like that, right?
yeah, we're 14 years. She had me at 14.
Okay.
Yep, yep. And he did his homework. I love it. Yeah, so single mother, I was born in San Francisco, raised in Richmond for the early part of my life. My mother's from Richmond. Shout out to Richmond. Shout out to yeah, I can't get too specific, but shout out to Richmond. My people from Parchester Village. I'm from the Ville. My whole neighborhood in the village is filled with my auntie, my uncle, my great uncle. Every house I go to in my childhood, my cousins. It was all just this one village, one way in, one way out. Back in the
But
days,
Vallejo in the building. Hello, hello.
come on, come on, Valley Joe. Hold on, 707 said, say it backwards. You understand me? That's where I'm raised,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, but like, yeah, one way in, one way out in Portchester Village. My father used to call the police just to get him to come in.
Oh wow.
And you know what that means.
I know what that means. I know what that.
So they
Yeah.
stopped coming.
For somebody that's, just now hearing your music and somebody that's just now, first of all, even before your music, I want to shout you out because you made an announcement the other day on your social media that I'm just like, first of all, I need $20 from you because now he's about to be a movie star, y'all. He's about to be in a film, and I'm so excited. That's been my thing. Even when I do carpets and interview, I'm like, give me $20. I just need $20. But for someone that's just
Honestly,
hearing you and your music and your artistry for the first time, what do you hope that they feel before they even understand your lyrics?
authenticity, man, and honesty.
Yeah.
Um, I really push being honest. My father was killed I guess it's been 3 years now. He was I don't know if we could say these kind of words, these
You can,
buzzwords.
absolutely.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he was stabbed to death, man, by someone he called his son.
Hmm.
And yeah, so basically, that is a lot of motivation for me, and that a lot of what I do is embodying who my father was and who my father could have been if he
Yeah.
chose a different route, right? So when he passed, my main thing was that he was a raw vegan. Okay, the
Mm,
man was 60 years old. Yes, that's fucked up. If you excuse my language, that is not a good situation if you're doing the math. And I don't agree with that.
yeah.
And so
Yeah.
there's another thing where I wanted to be a better man than my father, and he wanted me to be better.
Hmm.
Now, with that being said, um, I wanted to be number one. I wanted to be a raw vegan. Failed. I honored when he passed away. I made an oath that I would do it. Failed. Right. I
Yeah.
lasted a year. Right. So then but the other oath was that I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with myself. I'm gonna be
Mm,
honest with other people.
mm.
And I was always honest in my music because that's what I do it for. It's therapy. Like I'm not here talking to y'all. I'm talking to me. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So with that being said, yeah, that's who I am, and that's what I want to be represented as. And I don't even need to try to do that because it's just
Mm-mm.
who I am. Yeah.
I think even with your first song, I mean, if you really think about your first song, I mean, 7 years old, let's be clear, you making songs about God, and that's how you pray. So
Oh my goodness, where did you? What?
I think that's the beauty of who you are and the work that you do. I think that it is about an inspiration and a footprint that you're leaving behind, but also when you think of your dad and all of the nuggets and the knowledge. This is not even a question. I just thought about this as you were saying. What's something that you learned from your father the last few days that he was here that you will
Mm,
with you for the rest of your life and also that you'll teach your kid?
that's a beautiful lesson. So my father spent most of my life in prison, but I never like held resentment toward him because of it, right? Like he made his choice in life, and I grew up quick. I'm
Yeah.
growing up with my mother, right? So like
Mhm.
I remember my mom's 18th birthday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm growing up with her, and by no means does that mean we're best friends. Like that's my mom.
Listen,
Um,
she was still beating that ass. She
she
was
was
still getting.
still, hey,
Come on.
come on, at 15, at 16, you know what I mean? Come
Yeah.
on. She made sure she got it in early, so she didn't have
Correct.
no
She was like,
problems when I get
don't
bigger.
confuse the two. Don't confuse the two. Yeah. Yeah.
Look, but when you get 17 and think you got some muscle, just remember. But
Still in
yeah,
charge. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
come on. So yeah, I mean, I forgot the question because
No,
I love
your
my mother.
dad. Just no, just any nuggets that you kind of still remember from your dad, even those last moments. Yeah.
My pops was militant, man. I could talk about him because he didn't like me telling his business while he was alive, but I could say it all now. Nah. He was militant, man. He didn't keep a lot of people around him. He always used to tell me, I keep my circle small, man. All I need is me and my woman and my kids, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I keep that type of energy. I keep the militancy, the discipline. My father was up at 4 a.m. every day working out. You know what I mean? He had an incredible body at 60. You feel me?
Yeah.
So with that being said, he looked very young. I take care of myself. He loved my babies, bro. Like he really did. You know, he was with me. So like what he gave me to my kids is affection. Like my father was an affectionate man. My mother wasn't as affectionate, right?
Mm.
So like my father would kiss me on the cheek, you know, and hug me and you know and tell me, son, like you're so strong, you're so, you know what I mean? He would lift me
Yeah.
up, you know, and that's what I do to my kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think, listen, it's interesting in the moment that we're in right now, you're driving because a lot of your music and how you describe yourself, you write in motion. That's kind of like who you are. And that means from walking and driving and really just pacing. Why is movement so essential to how your ideas come alive, Ray?
I love that. Yeah, so motion, man. I mean, it's just like anything else. You know, with money, right? For example,
Mm-hmm.
there's no currency without current, right? Like you got
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that that that, that money moving, right? So it's like I stay in motion, but however, my motion can sometimes be very relaxing, like going
Yeah.
for a swim in the ocean butt naked. Like
Same.
I love it.
I do this.
Going to a
I
private
love it.
going to a private beach, no one's around. You know what I mean? And just
Love it.
diving into the ocean and feeling the cold, or you know, writing my music. Most of my music I write while driving. I'm sorry, I don't suggest anyone else do it, but I've been a driver for 10 years.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm able to. I've never, God forbid, never been in an accident.
Right.
You know, so yeah, that's
I
what it is.
Well, and I also think, and I love that because I think vulnerability is even kind of how I live my life, also, right? And I think you have to be able to be in your own spaces to kind of write and read and create. When you're writing, how do you balance vulnerability with strength, though? Because you've gone through a lot in life, especially in the world that doesn't always kind of see Black men as spaces to be soft. How do you balance that with vulnerability and strength?
Well, the beautiful thing about vulnerability and other emotions is if you're coming from a place of authenticity,
Yeah.
everything feels effortless, right?
Mhm.
Like doing this interview with you, I feel no nerves
Yeah.
because, you know, it's like everything feels effortless because I'm being myself. It's a lot
Hmm.
harder to make unvulnerable music.
So true. Yeah.
It's harder because now I'm coming up with scenarios that you have to like imagine,
Yeah.
right? It's not coming from memory. It's not coming from past experience. It's
Mm-hmm.
coming from imagination, and that is more difficult to me. I'd rather write a nonfiction book than a fictional one because it's just easier.
That's so true. No, I want to talk about Built Different. I want to talk about Built Different and
Thank
just
you.
how Built Different and how culturally impactful it is and really was for a lot of people that are just now listening to it. Built Different, it really became more than just a record, it became a movement. And it became a movement for so
Yeah,
many people that really figured out, you know, how did you realize that song was changing lives, including your own?
that's a beautiful question. How did I realize? Man, I mean, when I'm on the airplane headed to Atlanta is when that song took off.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So I'm there in one row. I'm mind you, we're riding on like Spirit. Like I don't remember what it was. It was like Spirit
Shout out
Airlines
to
or something.
Spirit. Yeah,
But
shout out to Spirit.
either shout out Spirit. Hey, black on. All right, I think I don't know. It's just a lot of black people that work there. But uh, so boom, right? It happens.
Mhm.
And then I look over to the next row over to my videographer party. Shout out to parties over. And I'm like, are you seeing this? He's like, yeah. Boom. Shaquille O'Neal, Will Smith, Eva Marcel, Russell Simmons, going crazy. Guess what happens? The flight attendant catches it. She comes over to my row. True story. Comes over to my row and says, "Black man, I am so proud of you." She says, you probably need a mother's hug right now. Come on, come get this hug. Come back to the back and come get this mother's hug." I said, "I do, because I can't even call my mom right now, like, 'cause I'm on this plane." Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
boom, gives me a hug, you know, and then she says, "Y'all want anything?" I'm like, "Whatever." Like, she's like, "We're gonna get you some champagne and we're gonna celebrate."
Come on.
This is a true story. It's just God, you know, it's just
See?
God.
Well, and I think you have people like you have people to your point, like Shaquille O'Neal, people like Eva Marcel, people like Will Smith that have people like Snoop that have co-signed your work and that have said, you know, wow, this is a project. I remember even looking at Shaq, listen to your music and immediately hear just the beat drop. And the man was like, stop it, you know, it's already amazing. And then hear your voice and then it's like, all right, let's go. We're about to give him money so he can go ahead and move forward with this
Yeah.
project.
So yeah, and it's all on purpose. Like
Yep.
when I approach any rap song, because you know I do every genre, right? But when I
You
approach
do
any
every
rap
look, hold
song,
on.
I approach it
Not only do you do everything, I want everybody to understand who you really are. You are a
right.
person, and I like to I like to say this about who you are. You are a lover at heart, but a fighter at nature. And you are a person
There you
that
go.
has so many eras and genres of music that is in you, from rock to soul to R&B and pop and just everything. But yeah, Shaq and Will and
Yeah,
go ahead, talk to us about that.
yeah. At the same time, I started music at 12. I think I was going on 13.
Yeah,
The first, you know, as I said, that's the first time I recorded my first song, right? I was writing before that, but
yeah.
um, I did martial arts in the same token. That's when I started martial arts.
Come
And
on.
I've been doing martial arts the same time amount of time I've been recording music. And so when you hear "Baby girl, I'm built different,"
Right.
that ain't nothing but "Baby girl, I'm and tuck and ducking back, built
Uh
different." So everything I move when I write, right?
yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
motion is important because the people feel what you feel, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
when I
Mm-hmm.
write, I like to stay in motion. I also like to walk when I write because baby girl, I'm built different. Ain't nothing about me. And you know, like
Yeah.
it's just motion. That's why when I perform it, people love the performance too,
Yeah.
because they can
Yeah.
see what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How do you feel
Thank you
responsible?
so much for like knowing this.
Well, absolutely. But I also think about you as just the responsibility. You have a responsibility now for people like your father that sometimes may not have had the voice that you had or may not was ready to kind of talk about his story, and now you're able to tell his story in your own words, in your own experience. How do you feel responsibility now that people see this song as an anthem for resilience?
That's exactly what I made it for. I
Love
made
it.
it I made it for people, you know, my name is Red Lotus, you know, no mud, no lotus. You
Say,
know, without the murky waters, you know, our people, we need the trauma. We
yeah.
need it's in our DNA. This is why
Hmm.
we are this way. This is why we are built different, you know,
Yeah.
because they messed up though another song I said they made it the strongest and accidentally and no they made it the strongest and made me and accidentally made me or something like that, but basically like y'all put the strongest ones during slave times, y'all
Hmm.
put the strongest ones you could find
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
had a mate, right? Y'all
Yeah.
messed up, not me.
Yeah.
We built different because of it. But you understand me? We're not full African, right? We are African American, right?
Absolutely.
You and I is what I'm saying. So we're
Yeah.
African American. So we our breed is different.
Absolutely.
And but
Absolutely.
we come from Africa and we are African. But
Yeah.
understanding African American is yeah, it was made
When you think of the whole
built
truth,
different.
when you think of the whole truth, it kind of lets you scream and jump and release. You know, when you really think about just that song alone, what truth are you releasing when you perform that song live?
What am I releasing? Sorry.
No, it's okay. The whole truth. So whenever you're performing the whole truth, you know, it allows you to scream and jump and just kind of release all of the things. What truth are you releasing when you perform that song live?
That's a cool question. Um, that I'm free. I'm free and I release anything that has ever made me feel like I'm not.
Mm. You were to perform at Coachella. And I think about that moment because Coachella, of course, sometimes is the pinnacle for a lot of artists at times, or Bottle Rock if at all you want to perform at Coachella or Bottle Rock tomorrow, what version of Red Lotus would the audience meet during that time?
They would meet the entire color project, which
Oh,
consists of red, blue, orange, yellow, and green in that order.
why is it in that order?
Red, so I'm doing what I'm always gonna do for the rest of my life, what is called the color project.
Mhm.
Um, that each album is based on a color,
Mhm.
a season, an element, and emotions.
Mm,
Red, I'm just gonna do red. So red is hip hop.
okay.
Um, red is fire. Red is the emotions of passion, anger, love, revenge,
Mm,
and it's always released in the wintertime.
okay.
But we're in blue season right now, so you're all my blue lotuses stand up. Where the Blue Lotus tribe at? R&B, baby.
I want to get into a quick question that when someone heard that you were going to be on the show, they're a huge fan of your work. His name is Chris. Chris is out of Brooklyn, New York. And he says, before a show, you focus on breath and grounding. What are you centering yourself away from when you take those breaths?
Wow. Wow. You
Let me
did
say
some
some.
homework. So nobody knows this. Um, I've never put this online, but yeah, I do this every morning. You
Yeah.
know, this is part of my ritual before anything that requires grounding and requires energy. But I'm focusing on my chi, which is what I learned from martial arts. So
Yeah.
I'm moving my chi upward, downward, through my arms,
Hmm.
through my head, my breathing, everything. So yeah, if you want to learn, I think the best example of anyone listening, if you want to know about this breathing technique, the best example is Wim Hof. Wim
Wim
Hof.
Hof. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Wim Hof. The lyrics in Built Different celebrate individuality in a world that is obsessed with conformity, and especially the type of world that we're living in right now. Was there a time you felt pressured to fit in a box musically or professionally?
Yeah, pressure makes a diamond, huh? Man, there was I come from the Bay Area,
Yeah.
right? And I love the Bay because there's so many alternative,
Yeah.
crazy type of artists, but they don't get the whole like shine that, our sound is known for,
They
which
don't.
I love our sound. Do not change. Like, love the Bay, do not change our sound.
They,
However, however, I'm from Vallejo, which is a different country in the Bay. Every single city in the Bay is like a different country, right? And I'm from Vallejo. And we speak a certain language, we have a certain culture, and we make music with the intention of pushing the envelope.
okay.
La Russell, Mac Dre, Jeff Gordon.
Yeah. Shout out
You know
to
what I
Jeff.
mean?
Shout
So
out to
so
Jeff.
like we push
Yeah.
the envelope and
Yeah.
it's fast, you know what I mean?
Shout out to Jeff. No, shout out to Jeff. Absolutely.
Like
Um, when you're writing, how do you balance your vulnerability, but also when you think of collaboration and it starts in conversations, not chords? What kinds of life conversations usually spark your best songs?
uh this is always funny when you're in the studio, right? And bro came in to like do a collab, right? And most people go in, they hear the beat, they start writing.
Mhm.
I start at acapella. Look, what's up, man? Who are you? Like, where you from? Like, yeah, I mean, oh, what? You grew up like this? Dang, that's crazy. Da-da-da-da. Okay, we got the song. Cool. That's the song. And
Okay.
then from there, man, it take about 10 minutes. The song is written. But we might have a hour and a half conversation.
Okay.
Rather than recording and writing, we could have just made a very connecting, grounded song, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So, not all places I could do that. If I'm in
Right.
Snoop's, like when I was in Snoop's lab, I'm not going in there and focusing just on the
Exactly.
conversation,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
However, it still turned into that because
I
me and
was gonna
Snoop
say
talked for like two hours, bro.
eventually you just kind of be you anyway. So
Yeah, like me and Snoop talked 2 hours about family and like, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Because he's a
It,
he's a grandpa, so
well, I think that's the beauty of the type of people that are literally co-signing and just backing whatever the vision and the drive is, even before the Snoops and before, the Shaqs and the Evas. You've had people like your dad, people like your mom, and people that are from your area that really repped you. I remember looking at some stuff in 2016 and 2019 where you were going to a your first, I think you were performing, and it was like, I always like to look at ourselves during that time before we were a name. We're always somebody still trying to put our work out there so people can hear and see us. And it immediately made me think about Red Lotus, Lotus the Red Album. And so I have three favorite songs, and I want you to explain, what are your favorites. For me, it's Humble Flex is my first. My second is The Game. And of
Mm.
course, it is number 6, Franklin Lambert III.
You got some fire in you.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
So,
can go there because Only You really is probably my favorite song. But I mean, that's not on the album, but we're gonna
and
keep it
that's blue, and that's blue.
just saying.
Yeah.
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 Go ahead.
So that was a single for the blue album. But yeah, no, I mean, so Franklin Lambert III, uh, you said The Game, and you said, what was the first one?
Know Yourself, Humble Flex, I'm sorry.
Humble Flex. So Humble Flex, right? This is years of people telling me, call it 17 years of people telling me I'm too humble, right?
Mm.
And me always thinking about that and saying, how can you be too humble? I don't get it. Okay, let me see if nah, I'm not gonna change.
Mm-mm.
Nah,
Mm-mm.
I'm good. I think I'm good. I think you're projecting on me. And so then
Ooh.
I understood what it was. It's a humble flex.
Yeah.
It's that I know who I am, and I don't need to be the loudest in the room to prove that, right? But in humble flex, you got the first verse, who is humble,
Mm-hmm.
and the hook, you've got humble flex, and
Mm-hmm.
on the last verse, you have flex.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that we just pieced it all up. The game. Uh, I was raised by cutthroat committee like Vallejo, like
Yeah. Yeah.
real Vallejo, Crash Side Vallejo. Like my mom used to drop me off and they used to babysit me. Sugar Wolf Pimp, PSD, you understand me? So like
You
I'm the
said
little snotty nosed nigga in the
house.
stew.
Yeah.
Excuse me for cussing, but I'm the snotty nosed dude in the stew,
Yeah.
right? And and I'm just absorbing all of it. So the game is everything that my OGs taught me. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an OG yet. I'm a yogi. I'm a young OG. You understand me? So I'm taking all their game
Yeah.
and they gave it away for free. And that made me a problem, I promise, right? And so, yeah, that's what that is. And then on the last one, which is you said Franklin
Title.
Lambert the third.
Yeah. Self-titled. Talk about the father. Yep.
So this is something I've been wanting to clear up for a while.
Okay.
Um, Franklin Lambert the third is the name of the man who murdered my dad.
Mm.
So I named it after him because he was on the run for 2 years after he killed my dad. And I was looking for him. So I named a song after him. And I'm speaking directly to him in the song.
Wow.
And I released it with the intentions of him getting caught, one way or the other. So with that being said, yeah, it did well. And for
Mm-hmm.
some reason, I don't know how, I don't know why, he was found in Houston by the feds. And he's currently in federal prison going through trial, and the trial hasn't started yet, but I will be there front and center when it does in San Diego.
I want to thank you for your honesty, and I want to thank you for your footprint, right? I remember starting the show in 2020, and the team picking it up saying that I've always wanted to create spaces for creatives to kind of tell their stories. For people that don't know you, I think the beauty around this is these are going to be questions that, as we wrap our show, that sometimes you probably have never answered. And
Yeah,
only people that are close to you understand. I call this a therapy session. And
feels
with
like it.
the therapy session, what is something that you're proud of that you don't talk about often?
Hmm. I have an interesting relationship with proud or pride, right?
Hmm.
Um, I was raised by my father was there, but for the most part, I was raised by three women and three very strong women, very masculine women, actually. And and they made sure, since my family was young, that they
Hmm.
teased me
Yeah.
nonstop because they knew I got green eyes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They knew I'm gonna be a good looking dude just like my father, and they wanted to make sure it didn't get to my head because my father was vain, right? And he was very vain, and he will tell you himself he was very vain,
Yeah.
and and I never wanted to be like that, but it was also instilled in me. So I, when it comes to pride, I
Hmm.
give it to God.
Yeah.
Like all the compliments, I appreciate every single one. It lets me know that I'm on the right path and I'm doing what I'm
Hmm.
supposed to do. But when you say that I'm great, I say you're great. And
That's
that's
it.
just that's how I handle that. And it keeps my head from getting big. You know, when you absorb compliments, it either fills you up and
Hmm.
goes to your head until it
Hmm.
swells,
It
or
does.
you release it. And I don't care where you release it. I'm not here to judge anyone, but I
Yeah.
release it upward.
Listen, my dad has green eyes as well, so I keep it moving. What does healing look like for you right now?
Feel healed, right? But I know that I will be healing into the day that depart, right? And yeah, man, healing is me continuing to do what I'm doing right now, creating. I create like our creator, man.
When
That's
do
what
you
I
feel
do.
when do you feel most confident?
When I wake up, I'm
Listen,
sorry. That
you woke
was
up the
rude.
other
Is
day.
that rude? Honestly, like I'm
It's
not,
not. Oh.
it felt rude, but like at the end of the day, I don't feel bad for saying that because I wake up and the first thing I do is go through my gratitude
Hmm.
uh, routine. And so that brings a lot of confidence when you're grateful for what you have.
Do you know how powerful that is, though? Regardless of it being rude or
I
not.
do, but please.
The reality around that is, I remember every morning, actually, I remember watching a thing that Oprah said a couple of years ago during the pandemic, and she was saying, before we get on our phone and before we start texting people and before we start looking at something, why are we not just kind of giving it up to the universe and whoever and just saying, thank you for waking me up to see another day? And so in that moment, I started telling myself, before I turn over and look at my phone and emails and start reaching out to teams, thank you for opening my eyes just to actually see another day for me to reach out to my teams and to have this conversation with Red Lotus and all of the people. Um, when you think of your happiest and saddest memories as a child, what are those?
Oh man, what you just said was so powerful. I'll go forward. Happiest
I
and
try not to get too emotional. That's why I'm in a new place of my life.
okay, we'll cry together after the
We'll
after the
cry
interview.
together after this.
Happiest moments was me riding on an ATV with my grandpa with my 22 rifle, and my saddest moment in that same moment was when I killed my first bird, man.
I cannot. When you cut your grandfather's hair or great grandfather's hair,
He
and
went back.
you cut his unibrow, how did that feel? Didn't I tell you we listen? We do our work, brother. What do you mean?
Respect. So much respect. Okay. My grandpa's unibrow. My grandpa a redneck. My
Listen,
grandpa
people,
a
because
full
people don't want to
blown.
cut their unibrow. The unibrow, listen, it's strong on the people for a reason.
Yeah, yeah. You know, that's not my blood grandpa, but he raised me as his own. 'Cause my mother didn't have a father, so he raised her. But my grandpa is actually a black man that skated out on his family, but it's all good. But my grandpa is a redneck, and he's the type, bro. He used to ride Harleys, you know what I mean? Like he is not. He's a fisherman, hunter. He go hunting to this day. That man is 70 years old. So 75, 78, excuse me. Uh, boom. My grandpa, what am I talking about? I just got stuck. Oh, my grandpa's the unibrow. So he don't care. Like he don't care about that kind of
I
stuff.
love how
He
your mind is
smelled,
moving. I love how your mind is moving right now. It's a
you
beautiful
got me
thing.
going. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
His unibrow, his unibrow, he doesn't care about. He smells good, he's clean, but his unibrow he don't care about. I cared about it, right?
Oh,
So I'm like,
okay.
Grandpa, let me cut it off. Like, let me just hit you real quick. I hit it, right? And you know what I
Oh,
realized? He didn't need it. Like, like he was flying with the unibrow. You feel me? I'm like, what am I even doing trying to change you? Like, grow that shit back out. I don't even like it.
oh, what makes you feel most truly fulfilled?
Music. Oh no, my kids.
Yeah.
They're the reason I do it. They give me so much energy.
Um, you've had the origins and identity of so many people that have come before you, and you've created spaces and footprints for so many people that are looking back in your hometown and saying, if he can do it, I can do it. People that stood with you in Berkeley, and people that are just in the area like, wow, we went and we did these early studio sessions when we didn't know what the hell this man was talking about, and we thought he was crazy. And he was,
Why'd you say Berkeley?
but also you've had a beautiful creative journey and an emotional truth whenever you go through your life from built different and the cultural impacts that you continue just to leave for the world. Your performances and your presence have so much of an expression that's needed for other people to follow. I love this last question because I always ask this: what do you want your legacy to be?
Hmm. He was an honest man that did everything for his family. Period. That's it. Like, that's all I did. I'm not, you know, this awesome, amazing person. Like, I'm just really just a simple dude. You know what I mean? Give me my 20 acres with my farm and
Yeah.
my greenhouse, and my family's got a place to be for the rest of our generational wealth. And that's all I did it for, man.
What do you want to tell the Red Lotus in 2016, 2017, 2019, back in the Berkeley area with friends making music? What do you want to tell him about what the future is going to hold for him?
Ooh. Um, that I know it's cold. I know you're hungry. I know that it sucks, but you need this to become the man that we're going to be. And keep doing what you're doing, remain who you are, and I promise it's all going to work out.
A question for your mom. Do you think that she has been able to live all of the dreams that she's wanted to live?
No,
And
I don't.
a last question for your father. What do you want to leave with him that you're going to always focus and just give him? What do you want to leave with him?
Dad, I just want to like do it the way you wanted to do it, but you couldn't because of your circumstances, and you had to go another way, and you got caught into a system that didn't love you. And I want to relive our lives, and I want you to live through me and see everything that we're gonna do as a family.
I love it. Any last words? Any last words from your listeners, your followers, your fans? Any last words?
You got me emotional for a second, but I'm gonna bounce out of it because I regulate my emotions very well. Um, my name is Red Lotus. It's kind of cool. You can Google me now. That's great. Like, yeah, that's really
You're
cool.
look, you're famous now. Look at you. Wow.
Yeah, like I don't even have to give you my whole handle. You can just put
Right?
Red Space Lotus and it
Boom.
pops up. That's really cool. SEO on point. But anyways, I love my family. I love my tribe.
Yeah.
I want you to choose who you are when it comes to what side, what color you appreciate that I am, right? So if you appreciate my rap, you're a red lotus. If you appreciate the blue, you're a blue lotus. You want the funk, you're an orange lotus, right? And thank you to everyone who has accepted me for my crazy self. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm I'm yeah, I'm easy to love, but like at the same time, I know I'm hard to keep up with. So uh so yeah, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. That's all I want to say.
Like I said, he's a lover boy at heart, but he is a fighter by nature. I want everybody to make sure that they slide in his DMs, send him a message, listen to the music at red.lotus.music on Instagram, and make sure that you stream all of the music, stream all of the things from 2019, 2018, the unreleased tracks and all of the new tracks and the things that you got coming out. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your footprint. I want to thank you for all of the things that you have left for just people to follow. I want to thank you for the tears that you cried. I want to thank you for the laughter that you have given, and every heartbeat that you give to every single person that you put and leave on the stages, on the music. Thank you for you. You know, I want you to make sure that you thank yourself because you deserve it.
Thank you. And I've been working on trying to take compliments better, so I receive all of that. Thank you. And I want to do the thing where I give you back something. Can I do that?
I'm fly. You ain't got to tell me nothing. No, go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, man. No, I appreciate platforms like this
Yeah,
that actually care, right? Like you're a man that is an incredible interviewer because you're genuinely curious about the human experience, right? You're genuinely interested in human beings, and
yeah,
that's in a true journalist, right?
yeah,
And that's what they teach you in school. And he probably, I don't even know if he went to school for it, but it seems more authentic than school.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, man, I appreciate you for doing, the research and behave, operating as a true journalist and also just a very kind and thoughtful individual.
Thank you. I appreciate you. As we always say on Power 97.5 LA, Power V 97.5 Vegas, iGlobal Media, and the JS Journals. Stay positive, but stay creative. Until next time, thank you for tuning in. You